We review it Wednesday.
Can you believe that this film did $144.3 million in the box office?
I can.
I can too, because two reasons. Jason Statham with his shirt off.
Amen.
He is a man. And there was absolutely nothing out at the time. There was nothing.
No, this was it.
This was it.
You want to know the options you had? This was it.
This was it.
Beekeeper.
And you know what? I like that because people went to the theater even though this was it.
Yeah.
We need, I don't know. If people don't go to the theaters, we're not going to get good films.
That's true.
I mean, you look at the way even, I started really getting into films because of James Bond. And so you look at the history of some of that, and in the 60s, that era carried through the 80s.
Yeah.
And then it sort of reemerged in some things in the 90s and stuff, late 90s more specifically.
Right.
And then you had another resurgence of theaters, in my opinion, and the way I enjoyed going to them was of course, Iron Man.
Yeah.
And some of those Marvel
hero era.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so if they don't produce good dynamic films, it's gonna die. And I don't like that thought. Like Best Buy, I was in Best Buy the other day. I had to get a processor for the computer.
Tragedy. Not the processor, but the lack of DVDs. Is that where you're going?
Yes.
Yeah.
I was so
sad.
I was like going over there, and I'm like, no, they're not there.
Yeah.
It's gone.
It's just a space.
There's a little bit there yet, but I just looked from a distance.
And cried.
I pretty
You know
much
what they
did.
also don't sell at Best Buy? Kleenexes. I could have used a Kleenex that day. All I had was those wipes that you're supposed to clean your glasses or CDs or desktops with, and those burn on your eyes.
I wouldn't know.
When you're desperate, you got to do what you got to do.
So what do you think of this blitz that we're running right now?
Blitz?
Yeah. Have you been watching the channel?
Of course. But tell me more about it.
So this is, because I'm saying this is pre-blitz right now.
Pre-blitz.
But we've been recording a lot of different episodes. We've been editing a lot of different episodes. And so we are blitzing the channel with all this fun stuff right at this moment. So this is
right at this moment. We actually have our computers and editors. Shannon is just going to town on the different cutting.
Yeah, we have, it's all being produced.
Yeah.
And exciting things. What do you think of the About video?
I love it. I love seeing all the different things that we do.
Yeah.
And by we do, the group of people that work with us. And mostly you.
Well, there's that.
Yeah, there is that.
And it's fun. We have a new editor on board. Just started, so he's doing pretty well.
Getting involved in MILFs.
Yes. Yeah. Yes, absolutely.
Throwbacks.
MILF throwbacks are two separate things.
Yeah.
So
some days. Continue. You can keep talking.
Is this an awkward pause now?
We got an awkward. You can keep just going. This is if you have a bleep where you say "Don't listen to Tyler," this is where that section would go.
That works. Okay, let's get into the film. When this all started, I'm like, we knew what kind of film this was going to be. I don't watch trailers much. Actually, we get comments that people, occasionally people say you should really do like trailer reactions because I'm not a trailer person.
Yeah.
And so
I didn't haul trailers.
What's that? Follow them?
No, you just haul trailers.
Haul them? Occasionally.
Yes, it would be fun to react to trailers.
But I didn't see the trailer for this. But Jason Statham, you just know what it is.
Yeah.
It's a one-man army.
Yeah.
He's taking his shirt off at some point.
Of course.
Or at least it's going to be a tight, wet shirt.
Yes.
So there's, good things that happen there.
He's going to have a beard and a bald head.
Yeah, it's just, you know what you're getting.
Yeah.
There's just no...
And that's what we got.
Yeah, we did.
And it wasn't like The Transporter, where some of the graphic... Well, it was sometimes cheesy. But overall, The graph,
Yeah, but the
connected.
transporter was just that.
It was a whole different level.
That was a whole different level. That
I
was
just
a
like
fun
bringing
one.
that up. Music
That
could
was a
not
really
be beat,
fun
though.
one. Yeah. Yeah, the music in that. Oh my gosh, that's right. It's wild.
It speaks
But
to the soul.
when Mrs. Cosby, took her life in the film,
Yeah.
The Beekeeper,
The Beekeeper.
it was quite, that hit differently for me.
Yeah. It was well done.
It was well done.
Yeah.
And so I wasn't expecting that.
They handled the reactions with it really well, too.
Yeah,
It wasn't like just a kind of a cheesy, because they could have done it very cheesily.
for sure.
But it was the way it, like, she went out, and then the reaction to her dying with her daughter and, Jason Statham's characters was both really well done.
It was. Absolutely it was. And it kind of, you empathized because there's a lot of that crap that really
Sure
goes
is.
on
Yeah.
and things. And so I'm really glad to know that there's a beekeeper that watches over the hive.
Yeah. I wish it wasn't bees. But I guess if I were to have an
Locusts?
origin story, now it is.
Ants?
I'd be the bee man.
It works. So yeah, that's kind of the premise of how it started for me was that's what hooked me right there.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, this should be okay.
And I did like the idea of the beekeeper being the cover for what he really does.
Totally.
It
And
was
actually
super interesting.
Yeah, the way they played the word game they played with it
Yeah.
and had some fun with it.
They actually worked on the script.
It did. Yeah, and so it was like you mean like the beekeeper?
Yeah.
Well, he's a beekeeper, but
Yeah.
he's the beekeeper.
Tell me what?
It's so that was kind of fun how they did that in a few places.
Yeah.
And,
The hive.
yeah, protect the hive.
That's right.
And then the next thing that really spoiler that got me was you knew who Josh Hutcherson his character Derek, was it?
Yeah.
That whoever he was connected with was very powerful.
Right.
And I didn't see that the president of the United States was that level of power.
Right.
That was something.
That was a nice twist.
That was nice. I liked that.
Yeah.
That he didn't care about anything other than good,
Right.
even if it was involving the president of the United States.
Yeah.
I love that.
That was a nice premise.
Yeah.
It was interesting to see the negligence of the president of because I don't you could tell she didn't know to what levels that she just gave way too much lease to her son.
Yeah, and how she got campaign funds and
Yeah.
all that kind of stuff. you
Right.
know. Yeah, that was something.
Yeah.
So
It was a good film.
That's what do you think? I held most of the stage on that one.
You
Sorry.
did. Well, you hit all the highlights that I agree with that. It developed characters that you did care about and the way they interact with each other. So the daughter character trying to find closure with her mom dying and then developing...
And vengeance. Yeah, that was kind of a nice part too.
Yeah. Yeah. And then developing the relationship with the beekeeper and Jason Statham just basically blowing everything up in his way. So, yeah, I really enjoyed it for those reasons. I really did like how much of a jerk Peta. That's mentally what I was thinking.
Josh Hutcherson.
Josh Hutcherson. He played that role really well,
Yeah.
which is interesting because in Hunger Games it's completely opposite that.
Right.
You really loved it, cared for that character.
Yeah, he's very
because
humble
of his passion and humility. In this case, it was like, nope, just hate me, and that's what we did.
Yep. No, that was good stuff for sure. He's talented.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't seen him in
question.
much though.
No, but he clearly has that ability.
Yeah.
I don't know what it's like to obviously how hard he has to work or how hard the directors have to work to get him to that level or whatever. That obviously has a lot to do with it too. But I thought he performed well.
He shows up.
Yeah, he performed well. And what do you think of like your generation being stereotyped like that?
I think it's accurate,
It is, isn't it?
which is unfortunate. The good old entitled, I get to have it my way, and I don't care about the repercussions or cause around the people around me.
Right. I mean, he took his own mom as a hostage.
Yeah.
You know.
The president.
Yeah.
As if, it was crazy. Like, I just couldn't imagine. And I did like this whole scene. If you listen to the audio version, it's the scene where Jason Statham gets into the retreat house. I forget, the beach house.
Yeah, the beach house or whatever.
And he's just smoking.
He's doing a line.
We could just also narrate films. Is another
We could,
thing.
yeah.
Our
I
interpretation.
wonder if there's copyright infringement on
As
that.
long as we're commentating on it, I think it's fine.
Yeah,
that's
true.
That's what I've begun to understand.
Yeah.
But this whole scene, the way they built it and had the hired hands and mercenaries, I like that the mercenaries weren't just your cookie cutter of like everyone looks the same. They had very unique mercenaries, which I thought was a lot of fun to see and how they stood out.
Yeah, absolutely.
They did really well with casting in this film, I thought.
They did. Jeremy Irons, you can't go wrong with him.
No.
Almost ever.
No. So it was fun to see. I mean, yeah, all the cast is pretty well known that had the major parts, and so that was fun to see. And they had different roles too, at least some of them. And so we talked about at the beginning how they really set up the film well because of how well the actors played off of each other and built that chemistry pretty quick for us to care about them. So yeah, I give it a 4.2.
Oh, wow.
I thought they did well.
Yeah.
For what type of film it is.
Yes.
And I was more surprised than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah. I totally agree with that. For the type of film, I thought this was going to be extremely tacky.
Yeah.
I thought it was going to be, I mean, there were some rough edges.
Yeah.
But for the most part, it was very spectacular for this level of film. I was, however, very surprised at the budget. I thought this would be a budget of like maybe a 15 to 20 million. It's actually a $40 million budget.
Okay.
I mean,
they went to a lot of different sets.
They did, and so, but I was thinking like when I heard it was out, I was thinking, oh, this is going to be a low budget.
Yeah.
Which 15 to 20 million technically is a low budget film.
Be almost like an indie. At this point.
Yeah, so I was surprised, like, oh yeah, they really spent some money on this, which was good. So when they have these actors, I wonder how is it based off of basically the success of the film? How some of them are getting paid?
That'd be my
because
guess.
$40 million, when you have some actors getting like $15 to $20 million of film,
right?
You know,
some movie. I saw a breakdown where they were talking about that recently. But yeah, they couldn't have been making much.
No, right. So I like that.
Yeah.
In other words,
because
they're involved.
invested.
Yeah, involved in it in a financial stake. Mm-hmm. Like they want this to succeed.
Right.
So they need to perform.
Yeah.
And so I think that showed up here. So I'm actually a 4.1, not quite as high as you, but because it's not like, I mean, it's Jason Statham. He's solid.
Say no more.
But he
can be awkward around other people, like not awkward, but like that cheesiness that we're talking about is
yeah.
There's always something that can slightly disconnect you from the movie just because of it's a movie,
right?
Yeah,
absolutely. Because it's just his characters he plays, and that's okay.
Yeah,
I'm not saying it's bad. He does.
We watch these films and we enjoy them.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
and we'll get to entertainment value on that one.
Overall entertainment. Spoiler alerts for this own podcast. We haven't talked about this.
Never mind. I'll start.
So one of my new coworkers that I'm interacting with, we joke around because he'll ask a question, and then the joke is he doesn't ever listen to what I say in response. So that's just a story I'm telling with no connection of what's currently how I'm feeling. But I don't even know where we're going. Do you want to go?
Feelings-
I can go.
feelings are
Here's
not
what
facts.
thing we have not talked about that I really enjoyed watching, and it was really demented because, again, it happens, is when they were actually doing the scams on the people. Mm-hmm. And those setups where they were at, I thought was really interesting. They had a lot of color. They were vibrant. But I also enjoyed, you looked at the outside of what it is, and you would never tell, like, that type of business would be in that building. So I don't know if that ties with cinematography, but the colors and stuff in my ADHD mind were really pretty.
They were pretty.
They were pretty.
I did like that quite a lot because it contrasted different other scenes that would, the black and white type feel, just real plain.
And I thought it was cut together really well, too, of when they were doing the scam of, like, muting themselves, like, hey, this is how we do it, and, like, really making it big. On mute, boom, we're now having, like, the conversation, and that's really even how it felt, was that it was a conversation, but now we know on the outside, like, boom, here's a big scam that's going to be happening.
Right.
I really enjoyed how that was cut together.
Yep.
So, yeah, cinematography is fun. I don't think it's been a while since I've seen my schedule has delayed, but overall, I don't remember it taking me out of the film too much.
Yeah.
So that's always good to me.
It felt, there's so much that felt authentic. Like you have the scene that we're currently viewing at the party, and it's very authentic.
Yeah.
The bright colors, the ribbons, and so that just happened throughout the film. In fact, it was so authentic when he was tending the bees. Jason Statham was himself. He actually learned how to do that.
Yeah.
So
Which
that, it
showed.
It did. And that's fun.
Mm-hmm.
That's what makes people like him.
Yes. So, cinematography, I also gave a 4.2. It was another one that I enjoyed how it was cut. It was fun.
Is this going to be a 4.2, 4.2, 4.2?
No. Hey, we're not at the end product. It could be, but it could not.
So, when I thought about how to score this, I was thinking, okay, this type of film, should this get a better score because this type of film in cinematography is usually worse?
And
you know what I mean?
Like, no, I'm a waffle brain. We got to separate and compartmentalize everything.
Hey, that's pretty good.
Compartmentalize.
You got it.
I did.
Yeah, you're growing up.
Again. For the fourth time. Only to pronounce that word.
But you know what I mean? Like when you look at like this level of a film versus the $100 million films or whatever you want to call it, you think of it as a different kind of thing.
Where they can pay for a lot of the glam, they
have
CGI.
They have like a whole massive staff.
Sky is the limit.
Yeah. So when I look at this, it feels more authentic, like I could put myself there.
Yeah.
The way that they did, like you said earlier, the editing and stuff like that ties into how it feels authentic. But the cinematography, how it comes across, how it looks on the screen, I actually was a 4.4 because they had passion here.
Yeah.
And you could see that.
Yeah.
And I love that. Whereas, you get an
sequel.
Indiana Jones, and your $400 million
that was also
budget.
passion and love. That was never about the money.
Yeah, and so exactly. I don't know what we scored, or I scored that, or you scored that one, but man, I hope it was low.
Yeah. Overall entertainment, I was entertained through this film in a lot of different ways.
I bought it. Like I said.
Well, you've rented it.
Well, yes, sorry.
Yeah. You're lying to the people. I'll tell them the truth. Maybe by the time it gets shown, you'll have bought it.
I rent it to keep it.
That's right.
It's a permanent rental.
I was entertained. The action was fun. The story wasn't anything out of this world, but again, with some of the actor chemistry, it made it more enjoyable than I thought it was going to be.
It was and it was a twist on the normal, like, shoot 'em up, rough 'em up,
Pew, pew.
I mean, it was a very different way to do it, in my opinion.
Yeah,
like John Wick was the original John Wick. That was a different. This is you mentioned that one scene at the gas station, reminded you of John Wick a little bit, and and this film has that uniqueness to it. Yeah.
So I give it a 4.4.
Nice.
I did really enjoy it. I'll definitely probably purchase it at some point when it goes on sale. But
you won't permanently rent it?
I won't permanently rent it, only from other people. Yeah, like even this fight, there's this rewatching it again.
Yeah.
It was like there's just so many scenes that were just fun and unique, and the characters were so different and had its personality without feeling super outlandish, except for maybe that guy. That guy seemed a little ridiculous to me.
Yeah. I think that was the whole point.
Yeah.
Of course.
The guy with the prosthetic leg and blonde tips.
And,
Again, in case you're listening to this audibly, we're going to eventually just tell you what this movie is through verbal words.
We could do some of these podcasts I've listened to. I mean, I don't listen to the whole thing because they're quite ruthlessly boring.
Enticing.
But they
is what he meant to say.
They're literally longer than the film.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's like, wait, you're gonna talk about the film
you're talking
for
about other
longer?
people.
Yes, other people.
I'm on track now.
And I'm like, the film is an hour and 40 minutes, and you're talking for 2 hours and 10 minutes about the film. I'm sorry,
it's not just about the film. It's about the art and the directors and their feelings.
Sure, we'll go with that. My overall entertainment is 4.5.
Okay.
Because I really do like action movies a lot.
Yeah. They're just
Action
fun to put
Jackson, Carl Weathers, R.I.P., was one of the first, Carl Weathers movies that I saw.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen that?
No.
Yeah.
I like the name, though. Action Jackson.
Yeah. It's very 80s.
It looks very 80s.
It's very
For
80s.
our audio listeners, it's Carl Weathers looking almost as James Bond.
Yep.
Back to back with this gorgeous lady. And in the background, you see explosions and other people. There's your audio description of what we're seeing right now. I don't know why I'm so enticed about our audio listeners right now.
Hopefully that makes a video reel here.
Oh, no!
Anyway, while Tyler picks up his toys that he violently knocked over.
Right. We'll also have the DeLorean here. Oh.
Thanks a lot for watching, for listening, and for listening to Tyler's audio description of the film.
And if you have a snarky remark or tell us that we shouldn't care about the audio listeners anymore, send us an email at LegitQ@Matty'sMovieMix.com.
Or you can comment below or above or beside. See you next time.
Hammer the share button. Go ahead and hammer out a comment to us. Go ahead and hammer the like button. Go ahead and hammer the subscription button. Go ahead and hammer the notification bells, because you know what? That's the best way you can support us. We appreciate it.